Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to talk about inner voice and the importance of listening to your inner voice. My name is Aina and currently I work as a Pilates instructor. I also have a lot of videos about Pilates in my YouTube channel, so feel free to check them out. However, today this video is not about this. This video is about the importance of following your dream and following your inner voice, following your intuition. So my entire life, I would hear people saying, follow your dreams or like follow your intuition, you know what's best for you. I thought that other people may have inner voice. Other people may have intuition, but not me. I even have had a very close friend who would always tell me like my inner voice told me that, like my intuition is telling me this. She will put her intuition as almost as her friend, she will treat her intuition as a very important person in her life that she will regularly ask advices from. And I remember thinking like, wow, like, that's bizarre. I can't relate, I can 100% I can't relate. Sometimes she would be like, I wanted to do this, but then all of a sudden I heard my inner voice and I did that instead. Like I wanted to, like she was trying to, let's say, choose between two guys, and she's like, my intuition is telling me that this guy is more suitable for me. Again, I could not relate, but because most of the time I was operating from the mind. I wasn't operating from the soul or from emotional level. I was always very analytical, very logical. I graduated from like a math and science school. I had my degree in software engineering, then in data analytics. So I was always a person who would put the mind, the logical mind, first. I always thought that no, you have to collect enough data points before making a decision. Or like you need to ask someone who has more knowledge or more experience in the certain field than you before making a decision. Like I was always putting other people's opinion and the knowledge, the outside knowledge, before myself, like before my own feelings. And then I remember around a year ago, around like I would say a year and a half ago, I used to work in a corporate environment, again doing like analytics, data analytics, and I remember feeling always tired, feeling very unfulfilled. I was super disciplined, I was super ambitious. A lot of people will tell me, you're so ambitious, or like you're so disciplined, you're so like A-type, everything is super organized with you. I thought always that that's a compliment, I thought that's how you should be. I was raised by parents who are also super ambitious. Both of them worked as professors in university. As humans, we have three parts to us: mind, body, and soul. For the 90% of the time, I was listening to my mind. Like I wasn't even listening to my body. I wasn't exercising regularly. When I was younger, I would just like skip meals. I will all of a sudden get sick, like all of a sudden, out of nowhere. My mom tried to feed me with like only organic foods, everything super healthy, everything super clean. She did a great job into maintaining my health for me. But as soon as I sort of left my parents' house and started living independently, I wasn't taking care of my health that well. I loved studying, I loved researching and reading books, so I would just disappear like for hours in the library. I was definitely living in my mind state, forgetting about the body and 100% forgetting about the soul, forgetting about the emotions. So obviously after years and years of this pattern, I just came to the realization that I can barely understand my own feelings, them. Because again, I'm dismissing them most of the time. That was about the time when I started doing therapy with a very talented girl. She was a psychologist and she was very much in her emotions, sort of soul space. Yeah, and I remember coming to the first session, and the reason why I came to the first session, I was telling her on paper, everything is so good in my life. Like it's so good. My career, my family, like everything I wanted to achieve, like let's say 10 years ago, I sort of achieved that. But I still don't feel good. I don't feel calm. I don't feel fulfilled. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong. Clearly, something is not working out. In the first session, she sort of told me, okay, but what do you feel now? When you are talking about a particular situation, particular scenario, what do you feel? And I remember thinking to myself, I literally don't feel anything. Zero. I almost had to force myself to feel something, but to be honest, like, I couldn't, and I would tell her, like, I don't feel anything. And it took us probably a few months for me to finally open up and start listening to my emotions. I think it's when you bottle down or like suppress your feelings for so long, and by feelings, I mean intuition as well. When you suppress it for so long, you just stop feeling it. It disappears. You're just overusing your logical side, and the rest is being completely dismissed. But the thing is, when the emotion occurs, it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays. It stays in your body, stays on a soul level. And then slowly but surely you feel dissatisfied, you feel unfulfilled, you're always tired, you're always unhappy, and you can't clearly say why. As of right now, everything looks fine, but maybe there was a certain situation that you couldn't process a month ago, and now this situation is still affecting you up to this day. So that's how therapy works in general. It's unpacking your emotions. Eventually, you will start trusting your emotions, you start trusting your inner voice more as a result of practicing this over time. And then after a few months of therapy, I could clearly hear that the place that I was working in, the career that I was spent so much time building, is not my story. Like, I could clearly hear that. And I think I've been suppressing this for years, trying to create a narrative, almost convince myself that a certain image will suit me. And once I achieved that image, I realized that that's not my story. Like, that's not what I actually wanted from the start. After a few months of therapy, I could clearly see that. Like, once you see this, you can't unsee it. Like, you can't run away. I remember telling my psychologist, like, what have you done? Like, thank you, I do feel better. But now this narrative is no longer working for you, and you can't run away from that. I left my job. I left my corporate job. Everyone was surprised. Everyone thought I'm crazy. My manager couldn't understand what I'm doing, because like literally a few months ago, I was a different person, you know, I had different sort of goals outlined for me. She couldn't really understand like what's my next move will be. When you leave a job, you sort of have to give them an exit interview. You have to give them reasons. And I couldn't give any reasons. I just told her that I don't feel that this is what I want. That's not what I want to do. At that time, I didn't know what exactly I want to do, but I knew that I want to work with people. I want to work for people. I want to create a meaningful product or a service that will help other people to improve their life, hopefully to improve their well-being as well. That's all I knew. End of financial year, so I saw a commercial, like a discount on a Pilates class, so you can buy an entire package and go from zero to like fully certified Pilates instructor. And at that time, all of a sudden it clicked in my head that that's probably what I do want to do. And the reason why I choose exactly Pilates, it's a low intensity workout. You can do this at home. It's great for females. It's great for pregnancy and postpartum. I'm all about women's health. I'm all about staying fit and healthy during pregnancy. That's what I did with my daughter. I did Pilates when I was pregnant. I did Pilates after my pregnancy. It helped me a lot for both my mental and my physical health. So at that time, I just listen to my inner voice, that this can be something for me. This can be something that I can develop in the future. No one believed in me, not even people who are close to me. It's not like they didn't believe in me, but they definitely couldn't understand my move, like for sure. For them, that was just like a question mark. Like, why would you leave a career that you spent nearly 5 years building, and you leave your career on a very top level when you became a specialist that everyone wants to work with? Why would you leave that and start something out of the blue, completely new, with no experience, with no connections, with no customers? Why would you do that? So in that moment, that I can't stress this enough, it's very important to listen to your inner voice. It's very important. This happened around a year ago. Like, I had no plan, I had no customers, I had nothing, like no experience. I just felt the urge to go in that direction. That's it. No data, there was no consultant that suggested me this career path. It was just an urge, just an idea in my head. Fast forward, 1 year passed. Now I work as a Pilates instructor. Now I do have customers. And now when a person comes to me and they tell me like, look, because of your classes, I lost, let's say, a weight. The number doesn't matter. Or I feel good in my body. Or like my lower back issues became much better. I finally lost like last 2 kilos that I couldn't lose after my pregnancy. Or I just feel so energized after your classes. I had a stressful day. I work 7 days a week. And because of your classes, I feel a bit better physically and mentally. When people tell me that, when people, my customers tell me that today, I can see a full circle. You know, I can see why this idea came to me 1 year ago. And that brings me to the point. Your inner voice is not there for you. Most of the time, your inner voice is there for the people around you and for the people who can benefit from your product. If you have a dream of creating, let's say, a business, changing a career path, yes, one thing, it will benefit you because you will feel more fulfilled. Another thing, it will benefit other people. God put this idea into your head for a reason. That means that you already have talents, you already have God-giving abilities that you came with into this world to build upon them, to move into that direction. By listening to your inner voice, not only you will benefit yourself, you might also benefit your children, your spouse, your friends. You can also benefit a customer. You don't know these people yet. You don't know. 1 year ago, I had no customers. I had literally no one interested. But believe me, there are people praying for the product or a service that you will create. There are people struggling with something. Your service will be the answer or the solution to their problem, to their struggle. There is a reason why this particular thought appeared in your head. This particular idea or a dream appeared in your head, not in my head, not in someone else's head, in your. Because you already have experience, you already have talents that you came with into this world to build upon and to achieve this dream. This dream will not only benefit you, it will benefit people around you, and it will benefit your future customers that are waiting for you to create this service. Another example, let's say you are a mom and you are working 9 to 5. And again, there is nothing wrong with that if it works for you, if you are truly fulfilled, if you don't see any problems with that. I was that mom for quite some time. But then if the idea hit your head that you no longer want to be a working mom, you no longer want to spend your entire day like working in the office, you want more flexibility in your work, you want different career paths where you can spend a bit more time with your children, your inner voice tells you that that's not only for you. The reason you have this thought, because again, if you listen to this idea, if you listen to this dream, it will benefit you. Yes, you will feel better by definition because you trusted yourself, you trusted your emotions, but it will also benefit your children. It will also benefit your family dynamic. The reason this idea came into your mind now, not 1 year ago, not 2 years ago, not tomorrow. No, it came to you now, because now there are circumstances that can help you. Again, very important. The reason this idea came to you now because there are circumstances in your current environment that can help you achieve this goal. And that brings me to my next point. As soon as you had a vision, as soon as you felt the urge, act upon it. Don't suppress. Act upon it straight away. Because now you have the resources. You may think that in the future it will be a better time. In the future I will have maybe a bit more time to go and study something new. In the future I may have a bit more money to start a side hustle. No, the reason this idea came to you now, because now is the best time. And also with the ideas, particularly business ideas, particularly creative ideas, I found from my personal experience, if I don't act upon something straight away, someone else will. Idea comes to your head because there is a customer waiting for this idea. Creative idea comes to your head because there is a group of people that are waiting for you to make this happen. And if you don't, this idea will go to someone else. A business idea came to my head a few years ago about a coffee shop. But back then I thought to myself, I have no experience in running a coffee shop, I've never worked in a coffee shop. Like, what can I know about coffee shops? And I sort of dismissed it. After a few months, exactly same coffee shop that I had in my head opened up in a similar location that I thought about. Same thing. And I think artists speak about this a lot. So I read about this in one of the books. I don't remember the author and I don't remember the name of the book. She was saying that, one day an idea came to her about a particular book with a particular storyline, something in Amazonia, like building a road in Amazonia. And she didn't act upon it, or she started, but then she sort of didn't finish. She couldn't find time for it. She thought that this idea is not that well. No one will read this type of book, blah, blah, blah. After a few months, another author wrote an exact novel, same novel about building a road in Amazonia. That the same idea that came into her head and she didn't act upon it, another author that she never met, not from her city. Like, there is no way she could hear from someone about this idea. There is no way. So this author wrote the entire book that became successful. So if you still think that your ideas or your dreams are not worth it, if you still think that your ideas are dumb or like no one will want it, like, believe me, the reason it came to your head, not to my head, because you are capable of making this come true. You are capable. You already have enough knowledge. You already have enough talents and enough experience. The world, the universe has a divine design. We all know that. The way everything exists in a perfect balance is a sign enough to understand that this idea came to your head as a part of a divine design. Nothing is random. Nothing just appears out of blue. Everything comes from God to you for you to sort of produce something useful for others. You are part of the divine design. Your thoughts are part of the divine design. Nothing is random. You don't act upon your dream. Someone else with similar circumstances will listen to their inner voice and they will act upon it. Now, if you are similar to me a year ago, if you feel that you don't have an inner voice, if you feel that you don't have an intuition, if you are constantly living in your mind, in your logical state, and you are suppressing your emotion, there is an easy exercise for you to do. For the next, let's say, few days or a week, act upon your impulses. Act upon it. Don't overthink. If you want to turn left instead of turning right, go. As long as you are not hurting anyone and you are not breaking the rules. Like, let's say you've been always ordering latte, but today you want to order mocha. Do this. Order mocha. If you've been always wearing a navy blazer to work, and your work doesn't have a uniform, you just get used to wearing a navy blazer because it goes with everything else. How about today you try to wear something else? How about today you be more spontaneous and try something differently? This exercise is for you to learn how to trust your impulses, to learn how to listen to your emotions and to your desires. We as a human have three parts to us: mind, body, and emotions. Emotions is the thing that makes us different from AI, from robots. Emotions is a big part of your existence. You can't ignore them for 30 years or like 50 years of your life. You can't ignore them. That's why next time you have an impulse, listen to that impulse. Listen, even if you think it's something insignificant, as long as you are not hurting anyone, as long as you are not breaking the rules, do something different. And hopefully over the time you will learn how to trust yourself. Okay, I hope this video was useful to you. I hope this video will act as a reminder. Trust your inner voice and follow your dreams. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.